After I was done with my makeup yesterday, I was like, why did I not film this? Like, it was eating. So guess what I did today? I woke up and I filmed a tutorial. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring-a-ling. Let's get into it. I started off with the Nessa Myricks Boring Balm in Universal. I'm applying this around my T-zone. Now I'm going in with Huda Beauty's new setting spray. This is the Easy Bake setting spray. I'm just using a fan to dry this down. Now that my face is set, let's move on to foundation. It's the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I haven't worn this in a while. I actually don't know why. And this is in the shade 6W2 Nutmeg. It's one of those foundations that you kind of want to apply with your fingers. But I use a brush. I go in with a denser brush and I just pat the foundation into my skin. And I always pull my headband back a little bit just to make sure I'm getting as close to my hairline as possible. I can't believe I forgot about this foundation because look at the finish. It's a really nice finish. I gotta remember to use this more. Now I'm going in with Milk Makeup's Jelly Tint and Splash. I do one cheek at a time because this is a tint. I use a dense brush to pat this into my skin. I like my blush really pigmented because blush always disappears, fades by the end of the night. So I go in heavy on the blush. This is a foundation stick that I use as my contour. It's the YSL foundation stick, and this is shade B90. And I know it's looking bruised right now, but you just gotta trust the process. This is my contour placement along my nose, eyelids, around the perimeter of my face. Now we blend. The brush I was using was a flat, very flat, dense brush. Now switching over to a brush that's still dense but round. Use the NARS foundation as my base for my concealer. So Macao Medium Deep 4, and I place a little bit goes a long way with the NARS Soft Matte, so I just lightly dab that on. I add some to my forehead, and then I dab some on underneath my eyes. Time to blend. Blend, 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 blend. Take your time to blend. Blending takes forever, but it's worth it. Let's blend the under eye. NARS Soft Matte as my first layer of concealer instead of a normal concealer. And I am just blending this out. And I always drag my concealer upward. I like a snatch face. Tap, 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 tap your life away. And don't worry, this line is looking really sharp right now, but we are going to buff that out a little later. Okay, you see that? I just needed to clean that up. See this here? So let's blend. I'm just buffing this out. Okay. I'm going in with the Lip Bars Quick Conceal Caffeine Concealer, and this is shade Cinnamon 1.0. Let's blend out my forehead. Eyelids. Okay, so for my nose, I like to do with my finger first, like just do a stripe. And then go in with my brush. All right, now let's blend out the under eye. Blend, 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 blend. And I'm using tapping motions. I am not swiping this. I am using tapping motions. We're going to buff out this line. Now is Honey 1.0. So this is to brighten. Okay. Clock that tea. For no reason at all, I'm always like, clock that tea. What tea? There's no tea. Shout out to Huda for this fan because I've been using this to dry down my concealer. All right, back to blending. I'm telling you, this is my favorite part of the makeup process. Blend, 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 blend. I feel like an artist. Blend, 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 blend. And for this, I want like a controlled blend because I'm not going to take this out too far because I want the brightest part of my face to be in the center. I did not drag it out. I kept it right in here in the corners. Let me do this side. All right, back to the eyelid. Tapping motion. Before I set my face with the setting powder, I am going to buff out this line right here. I'm going in with, I'm literally, okay, so I love the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. Clearly, you can tell, right? I only have a little bit left. Let me see if I have another bottle. Okay, even my travel size is down to like nothing. All right, I need to re-up. Let's use what we got. Ugh, there's literally like nothing left. All right, come on, come on. Now I go in with Maybelline Fit Me's pressed powder and 330 Toffee Caramel. I start at the nose and then work my way up to my eyes. Also use this on my eyelids, jawline, forehead, center of my nose. Now I'm going in with my Fenty bronzer in Thick Mint. NARS, this is Laguna 07. I'm going to go right here. Now I'm going to bake with Huda Beauty's Peach Pie. I said I was going to bake and I just ended up pressing all of this into my skin. All of the areas that get super oily. I've been using this Makeup Revolution palette that I got at TJ Maxx. It was like $7.99, but I loved all of the shades. So that's what I'm going to use for my eyelids. Start off with a dark brown. Blend this out. I'm going to use a lighter brown. I'm going to layer that right in here in my crease and blend that out. That's where we're at. Now for the inside and the corners, I'm gonna go in with this like light peachy pink. I'm not going past the center of my eye. So now I'm going back in with the brown right on the ends. Pat McGrath blush, and this is in the shade Love Struck. I'm going to brush a little bit off on the back of my hand first and then go in. I'm going to go back in with Peach Pie. The Huda setting powder smells so good. Start off by drawing an outline. Light soft strokes because I don't really like harsh eyebrows on me. And this pencil is a little bit darker. I start from the arch and then go out. Now I'm going in with Huda Beauty's Eye Kohl. Fill in my ends with black. Old spoolie, but it works great to kind of just fade out the front of my eyebrow. I'm just going to repeat the same process on the other side of my eyebrow. Eyebrows are done. I am dusting the powder off. So I'm going in with that CoverGirl pencil. I'm using the dark brown pencil and I'm just going to pull this up to create a wing. Center of my top lid. I started at the center and then I pulled out. Center, pull out. Now I'm going back in with the Huda Beauty. There's a little bit too much highlight here, so I'm going to go back in with my Fenty Beauty bronzer. I'm going back in with the Lip Bar Quick Conceal 2.0, 1.0, 1.0. And I'm just adding it right underneath my brow bone. Not too much. Not too much. I'm going in with a flat brush to blend that out, and I'm going to use tapping motions. I go back in with my fluffy brush, kind of blend that out. One more layer of blush. This is the Juvia's Place blush. I'm tapping the excess on the back of my hand. And I really like to get in the corners. I'm just adding a little bit of thick mint, just so the blush blends into the bronzer a little better. I need to add bronzer onto my hairline. I'm going to set my face one last time, and I'm going to use the Lip Bar's Next to Skin setting spray. Now it's time for lashes. This makeup takes forever. I'm starting off with Lancome for my lashes. Okay. Now I'm topping it off with Jones Road Beauty. 2 16mm lashes to the ends of my eye, starting off with the Bond. I added an extra one today. I'm adding a 14. Makeup takes so long to do. Like, if you want your makeup to look really nice, you really have to take your time, and sometimes I get exhausted in the end. For lip combo, I'm going in with the dark brown CoverGirl pencil. I started off with a pretty thin line, then I decided let's go thick, and I love the results. Then I went in with Prada Beauty's Hyper Matte Lipstick. I started off with B11, and then I layered B13 on top. Chef's kiss. Added a little bit more liner and lipstick, and so pretty. Okay, so I love the way the makeup turned out. I think it looks better than yesterday. Depending on who you ask, they may say I suffer from blush blindness, but to me, I love piling on the blush. It's so cute. I mean, look at the material, but thank you for watching. See you next time.